Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today we're going to be talking about my top 10 favorite cool tone palettes. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This video is going to be an overview of my top 10 favorite cool tone palettes. I like to update you on my favorite cool tone palettes from time to time. Sometimes I do it as part of Eyeshadow Palette Week, but this time around we're doing it as part of Eyeshadow Palette Month. So these are mainly going to be cool toned neutral palettes, so they're not going to be super colorful things. I've tried to limit myself there. And some of these are going to be cool tones for people with a cool undertone, while others may be cool tones for people who want to try cool tones, but who are afraid of them looking weird and ashy on them. So I'm hoping to really have an array here so that whatever undertone or skin tone you might have, there is going to be a recommendation here that you're going to enjoy. So before we get to these 10 eyeshadow palettes, what credentials do I have? Hi, my name is Micah. I have a cool to neutral undertone, so that means that I tend to prefer cool tones over warm tones on myself, even though I can get away with both of them. I'm wearing a very cool tone look today, and whenever I wear cool tones, I tend to feel my best. I always feel I look a little brighter and awake and happier whenever I wear a cool tone. So cool tones is where it's at. This palette, which is on my lids today, is not featured in today's video because I'm testing it out, because I tend to test out cool tones. Sometimes I just take one for the team. You know, is this really a cool tone palette? Because, especially if you're someone with a cool undertone, you know how hard it can be to find actual cool tones. Because sometimes brands or other creators or people even who help you in a store at a beauty counter will tell you something is a cool tone, and then you get it home and you apply it to your own face and you're like, well, that looked orange. If that's you, there are going to be recommendations here today as well of things that I feel do not pull orange on me. That being said, I'm not the most cool tone person on the planet, so do take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. Also, when it comes to cool tones, I like a variety of cool tones. I don't love grays particularly. In fact, I think that so many brands, whenever they want to do a cool tone palette, they just stick in grays, and I think that's a lazy option. So there's also going to be some options in this video today that I feel take a more adventurous route when it comes to a cool tone. Cool tones can be many things. They can be colorful, they can be neutral, they can be a brown, they can be a gray, they can be a whole host of things. And I feel we need more, better, like full arrays of cool tones if we can get that from brands. But, you know, I'm already happy to have these things in my life. Some of these may still be available. Some of them are just really long-standing favorites that I still love and adore that may actually be discontinued. Some of these are older palettes. Some of these are brand new to me. Some of these are expensive. Some of these are going to be very affordable. So again, I hope there's going to be something here for everyone who likes a cool tone or wants to try a cool tone. So here we go. Shall we start with something super affordable? These little guys. This MUA line has so many good things, and what they also do is some really good cool tones. The cool tones they do are quite smoky. It's not going to be very light though, but they also do a really stunning warm tone, a good neutral, good rosy tone. I decided to keep the cool tones around because that's my preference. This is Andromeda Skies, and these are the little 5 pans from MUA. They also do a 15 pan called, I think, Illusion. That's really pretty too, but I tend to love these little 5 pans. These are £3 at Superdrug in the UK, so this is especially for all the UK people. But you can find it online in some places. Here in Europe, I can find them on Notino, for instance. So that's what, like, I'll have some links in the description box if you want to buy these. Those will be affiliate links if, like, not all of those websites will give me a commission, but I could make a commission if you use those links. But yeah, this is such a really good one. It has some beautiful shimmers in that have, you know, when indie brands have these really emollient shimmers, that's what these are, but they're at the drugstore. And then you get like some really nice other neutrals thrown in. Really pretty, really beautiful. This is excellent quality, and for the price, you really can't fault these. Again, for the people who like their small things, because not everybody perhaps wants like a 15 pan eyeshadow palette, I really like my Kaleidos quads. This is going to give you Asian beauty quality, but made for the Western market. That's how I feel about Kaleidos. This is Venus Trap, and this is one of my favorite cool tone neutral palettes. You get 3 mattes, 1 gorgeous little shimmer. This is a little bit of a pink, and you get 2 really nice cool toned grayish brown leaning shades. It has depth, but it's still neutral, but it's not like boring grays, you could say. Like, there's more to life than gray in terms of a cool tone, and I feel this palette nails it for me. You can get that one through the Kaleidos website, which ships internationally from China, so there aren't any shipping and handling fees if you do buy from them, by the way. They just have a flat rate, I think, for shipping, and I'm not sure if it's gone up. I haven't bought from the website myself in a while, but Kaleidos can be bought best that way, I find. This is the palette I've decided to throw in as the cool tone palette for people who want to try cool tones, but who are afraid to commit. This is not going to be a cool tone palette for you if you have very light, very cool tone skin. This is not going to be for you. But if you are that person who is afraid of a cool tone looking ashy on you, or if you have deeper skin and cool tones can look really weird on you and you need a little bit of warmth to take it to the next level, then the Sigma Cool Neutrals is perhaps your best jam. For me, this is more of like an actual just neutral palette with a couple of cool tones and a couple of warm tones in. I feel the name Cool Neutrals is a little bit misleading, but like I said, this is really for the people who need that warmth to make shades like this work. So if you want to make a cool tone, you're gonna have to stick to these 8 shades perhaps, and maybe ignore these ones, even though these 2 here on the end are still quite cool tones. So maybe just these 4 shades that you need to like skip. It's beautiful quality. What I like about Sigma is that they make it very easy to use because you get a matte and a shimmer that just go together. So especially if you're a 2 shadow person, Sigma palettes are really nice. It does go deep enough in here. It has some really stunning neutrals. You can mix and match them really easily because, you know, this is a quad, but then right next to it is also a quad. So you can just keep moving down the line, and then these 2 shades combine perfectly again with these 2. Very cleverly laid out, such an easy foolproof palette. And like I said, this is really for the people who need a little bit of warmth to make their cool tones work. If that's not you, this is not going to be your favorite cool tone palette because it's just not that cool toned. The name Cool Neutrals, like I said, it's wrong, but this I think is very helpful for easing people in who are afraid of using cool tones. Because I think cool tones, like if you're like me and you just love a cool tone and you love wearing your sort of purpley gray looks with a pinky purple lip, you're not the target market for this palette, okay? But if you are that person that has perhaps olive or slightly warm toned skin and things can be a little bit like maybe you have medium to deep skin and cool tones can just be a struggle for certain people and you find it very difficult to find good cool tones that work on you, try something like this because it gives you a lot of options and you can really mix and match these and every look will look right on you. I'm just gonna throw it out there. If you have a little bit of money to spend, then you're going to be able to find one of my favorite cool tone palettes in the Pat McGrath Mothership 1 Subliminal. Still available as far as I know, and this is such a beautiful palette. There's loads of creators, especially over on TikTok, who have entire playlists with nothing but looks with just this palette. It's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. It has some cool tone browns in here. You have those interesting shimmers. Mine I bought before they changed the formula of these motherships. I believe the baked shadows are now all going to be like the shimmer formula they do now. I believe they're all going to be changed. Mine still has the special shades. And then of course you do get a black and a sort of like warm champagne. And I really like that in here, even though you get a gold, it's like a white gold, so it's not going to be too yellow, and it's not going to look too stark against these other shades. So really beautiful quality, good mattes, interesting shimmers, and this Pat McGrath palette is just one of my favorite cool tone palettes on the planet. It has been for years, and it just can't be knocked off its top spot, you know, but she's a pricey one. I said there were going to be palettes in this video that have been discontinued, and I sadly need to share this again because I just love it that much. This is the Love in London. This is what the palette actually looks like. That was the sleeve. It's by BH Cosmetics. BH Cosmetics is no longer a brand. But this great cool tone neutral palette, yes, it has warmth, but it really doesn't have that many warm tones. I think it looks warmer because it has the blue metallic background. This is my favorite shade in the palette. It's a taupe. Surprise, surprise. And then I've always loved that you do get the option of like a blue and a purple, but you can ignore those if you want. It's got a really good taupe matte as well. So for me, these two with like one of the lighter shades and like this black as a bit of liner has been a go-to sort of look for me for years. Like you can see exactly what shades I go into. Like this one here, and then this one here, and this one here, and this one here. And then I tend to use like the gray and the blue here as well, so quite a bit. Yeah, you can really tell which shades are my favorites. It has some rosy tones in here too, so this was just a really good one. I really still enjoy this palette. I need to go back to it though, so that's going to be something to go onto the list for the fall time for sure. Another discontinued one, Glam Shop's Zimna Mocca. I like the Coco Sanga, I like so many different things, but this beauty, I mean, it's 9 shades of cool tone browns. That's essentially what you're getting here. It's got taupes, it's got really nice, like this chocolatey brown thing. These mattes are really, really beautiful. And then that shimmer in the middle, do you see that blue flash? Do we see the blue flash? It's a duochrome. It's a really pretty duochrome as well. So this just has everything that I want. If I just want something super neutral and easy, it's light, it's easy to use, great. They no longer do this one, but they have released a 9 pan that I feel looks pretty similar to this, which is why I don't have it. It's currently the first one on the website. So if you go to Glam Shop, they have a little section with makeup. You need to click the drop down menu, and then it will say limited edition eyeshadow palettes. And if you click that, you'll see the entire range of eyeshadow palettes that they're currently stocking. And one of the first ones there is going to be the 9 pan with like cooler tone, like neutral browns that they're currently doing. And I'm feeling it's quite similar to this. They just do a rendition of this every single time, I feel. Sometimes it's a little bit deeper, sometimes it's a little bit lighter. I still like this one the best though of a lot of the Glam Shop stuff I've tried. Also discontinued, but I'm still hoping that this is gonna come back. It's the Smoke and Mirrors from Gloss Gods. This is a Swedish-based indie brand. Glam Shop is Polish, by the way, so great for the people in the EU, you could say. And there was a post while I was in Japan where Gloss Gods was asking which of their palettes they had to bring back. I think based on the comments I saw, a lot of people were saying this. I voted this as well. I made sure to put my 2 cents in. But there were also people who were requesting the Dancing Lights, which is the all green shimmer palette. But I'm really, really hoping they're bringing it back. They brought back the Vintage Glam last year. And the fact that the brand is actively asking people what they want to be brought back is making me very hopeful that they're bringing this back for Christmas. I really hope they do. But yeah, this is the Smoke and Mirrors. If you missed out, I'm terribly sorry. Grays, these heathery, purpley shades. It's like dusty lavender. That's the best way to describe it. Then it has a cool tone bronze. Yes, you can do a cool tone bronze. And then it has a really pretty, very light sort of thing here. Even the grays in here have a slight hint of purple to them. It's absolutely stunning. It has beautiful shimmers in, excellent cool tones, but without it being boring. And Gloss Gods is a brand that does a lot of neutral palettes, but also more creative things. So they have a lot to offer. If you love makeup, I think Gloss Gods is very overlooked in terms of what they have to offer, because not only will they give you palettes that give you, you know, like me, the basic B sort of vibes, but always with a twist. And they do really fun, colorful, glittery things that I think are going to be great if you are more creative and you love your more flashy looks. So they have a lot to offer. Then for some things that are still very much available, at least I hope this one is. I think it may have been limited edition, but it's Realm of Fairies by Bella Beauté Bar and Sassy Fairy. And this is the only more colorful things that I wanted to share with you. Because, of course, this is not really a neutral palette, but it's very nicely cool toned. And in terms of giving you shades that are truly, truly cool toned, I think this is great. Very often I see indie brands do beautiful cool tone mattes in palettes like this, but then the minute they do a multi-chrome or a holographic shade, it's got a warm tone flash. Adept has done it. Ensley Rain has done it. So many of these indie brands will do beautiful cool tone mattes, but the shimmers are never fully cool toned, or like a couple of them will look blue in the pan, but then when it shifts, it has this peachy golden glow, and I'm not a fan of that. This was the first time I tried an eyeshadow palette that not only did it have really good cool tone mattes, it also had a cool tone flash in every single shimmer it has. It has some interesting shimmers that are a little bit more flaky, that have just a little bit more interest. This white has a blue flash. Really, really stunning. So brands can do it if they want to. And I believe Cliona actually now has some multi-chromes that are very much focused on it having a cool tone flash, rather than like a green or a gold or a pink. These all have purple, blue, sort of white, silvery sort of reflex to them in every single shade, and I'm here for it. Now, if you want something super duper light, if you have fairest of the fair skin, the palette that a lot of people didn't like when it came out because it was just too light for them, really, the Cloud 9. The Cloud 9, it's just really nice. And I'm not sure if the lighting picks up on it, but do you see that it has a sort of like holographic reflect? So pretty. But this is just really light. So if you like cool tones, but everything turns into a smoky eye, like I'm sporting today, and you don't always want that, but you want something that still is going to look super natural, that barely there sort of look that's great for every day, the Cloud 9 from ColourPop. This is excellent. It has some taupey shade, it has some gray shades. You can go deeper if you want, but you don't have to. It has a holographic shimmer in here. It has something silvery. It has some beautiful duochromes. Really excellent formula. This is just a really good all-rounder palette, and the Zimna Mocca is no longer available, but this will give you a similar vibe. So this is something you can still get your hands on, and you want that sort of feeling to a palette, then this can be a good alternative for it, but I still like each one of them equally, and they both give me different things. But yeah, Cloud 9 by ColourPop, beautiful cool tone color story. And finally, and this came as a total surprise because I'm usually not a lover of the Beauty Bay formula at all, I'm holding up the 16 pen, but I also have the large, what is it, 40 color palette. I don't think you need both. I really don't think you need both. This gives you a more curated vibe, but I do feel that some of the shades that I like the best out of the large palette you don't get in here. So there's that. If you absolutely want a one-stop shop for all things cool tones and you want to just have all the different undertones that a gray can possibly have, get the big one. If you want something more curated that you can take with you on the go, then this can see you through. But this is what I mean with cool tones can be more than just a gray. Because what we get in here are some like brown tones. We get actual grays, but there's even something in here that has a bit more of a blue, and this is actually a navy. Case in point. And I feel that in the large palette you also get some things that have a green, like a green tone to them, and things that have a purple tone to them. So you get lots more variety than you get in this small guy, but I feel that this gives you the idea. It's all cool tones, it's all neutrals. Nothing is overly colorful, but everything is going to give you a cool tone look, but you get all the different undertones. Beautiful shimmers, really interesting mattes, very blendable, easy to work with, and it doesn't break the bank because Beauty Bay is still quite affordable. So there we have it, my top 10 favorite cool toned eyeshadow palettes. Let me know in a comment down below what yours are. This is just a list I keep updating whenever I've tried new things. I tend to do like roundup reviews whenever I've tried a couple of cool tones. I try out cool tones almost every single month though, but whenever I feel I have tried like a good chunk of them, I will do a separate video letting you know which ones are my favorites, and if they really are my top favorites, it might end up in a video like this. So thanks so much for being here. We're still doing eyeshadow palette month all the way until the end of the month, so stay tuned for more. Enter my giveaway in the meantime. You can find that in the description box down below. And then I hope to see you again really soon in a new video. Bye bye.